Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown. I'm your host, William Harris, aka William is Bill. Let's see. All right, and we are here for another episode of the Box Score Breakdown. We are here to recap the games of the night, tell you all about the waiver wire pickups, drops, sales, etc. Everything you need to know in your day-to-day, game-to-game discussion about fantasy basketball on a daily basis. So check us out Mondays through Fridays on the Box Score Breakdown. Tim Woodson and I will have you covered. Tonight we have a 9-game slate, and it was a great day of basketball. So let's get straight to it like it's nothing to it. All right, first game we're going to talk about the Knicks defeated the Hornets 129-101. That sounds like the Hornets, unfortunately. But let's start with Karl-Anthony Towns with 19 points, 10 boards, 3 assists. Great game. Well, solid game for Cat. We know he can do better, and he probably would have done more if it wasn't a blowout. Josh Hart started, had 22, 8, and 7 with 3 steals. He is just a category monster. I mean, you think about Josh Hart, you're like, he's not that good of a player. He's solid. But in category leagues, he does stuff like this and helps you win your league. Mikal Bridges with 18 and 5 with 3 assists and 3 steals and 2 blocks. Ridiculous. I think Josh Hart is rubbing off on him. Jalen Brunson with 33 points. Only 3 assists, though, so we need to get those assists up still. Josh Hart is always leading the team in assists at this point. But it's working for him. Miles McBride started as well. 19 and 3 with 2 steals. Really good, solid overall game as OG Anunoby is still out. For the bench, no one did much. Clarkson with 8, Tyler Kolek with 7. For the Hornets, Miles Bridges, 17 and 4. Brandon Miller, 18, 4, and 3 with 2 steals. That's a solid game. He matched Mikal Bridges, but the other guys did not step up as well. Ryan Kalkbrenner with 8 and 6 with a steal in 28 minutes. LaMelo Ball, only 11 points with 6 boards and 4 assists, but also 4 turnovers. He did have a steal. That is a highly disappointing game for LaMelo Ball, and that is why they lost. They can't win when he's getting 11 and 6. He really needs double that production at minimum for them to win. Conkanipple, only 6 points and 4 boards and 2 assists, so he had a down game as well. Off the bench, Colin Sexton and Trey Mann had 15 points, but no one else really did much in this game for them. Next game, the Celtics defeated the Pistons 117-114. Let's start with Cade Cunningham, probably the player of the night with a huge 42-point performance, 8 boards, 5 assists, a steal, and a block. And he is killing it right now. So full steam ahead for Cade Cunningham. You love to see it. I just hope he stays healthy. He missed a week, but he's back rolling. Jalen Duren only had 12 points, but has 16 boards and an assist. And he's just a rebound monster. Ausar Thompson, 8 and 8 with 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And he's coming along. Duncan Robinson had 11. Tobias Harris had 12 and 2 blocks. And Isaiah Stewart, only 6 points, but 9 boards off the bench. Karis LeVert, double digits in points, 10 points. And not much else. Jaden Ivey played 15 minutes and had 7 and 4, which caused Dennis Jenkins to only play 8 minutes with only 1 assist. So the Dennis Jenkins truthers, it's over until someone gets hurt right now. It is over. For the Celtics, Peyton Pritchard, 16 and 5 with 2 assists and a block. Jaylen Brown with 33 huge points, 10 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Unfortunately, he had 5 turnovers, but that's a tremendous game for Jaylen Brown. Derek Wright with 27 and 7 with 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block. That's ridiculous. It's like Josh Hart on steroids. Luka Garza started in this one because Neemias Queta injured his ankle. He did nothing. 11 minutes, literally no production, just 1 rebound. That's crazy. Jordan Wall started 7 and 6. And, he started over Josh Minott. And Minott had a better game, 9 and 5 with 3 assists and a steal. But they're trying to figure out which one of those guys they want to start. And really, they're not giving either the right opportunity, or they just don't believe in either. But anyway, Baylor Scheinman had 13 points off the bench. Josh Minot, speaking of him, 9 and 5 and 3 assists and a steal, if I didn't say that. But Anthony Simons is a disappointing 5 points in 12 minutes with 4 assists. So Celtics, I mean, they were expected to tank this year because they didn't have Jason Tatum, and they let a lot of guys go to rebuild while Tatum's out and get their salary right. But they are 10 and 8. And they just beat the Pistons, who are 15 and 3. So the Celtics may not be able to tank just because they're such a well-run organization and their players are better than the other team's players, even still. Next game, the Heat defeated the Bucks 106-103. Kyle Kuzma only 8 points, but he had 12 boards and 6 assists. That's good production right there. You want more points. Normally, that's what we expect from him. But the 12 and 6 is nice. Miles Turner, a huge 24.8 rebound, 2 assists, and 1 block. Jared Trent started with 15 points and 2 steals. AJ Green, 12 points, a huge and surprising 8 assists, 5 boards, and 2 steals. That's a great all-around game. And Ryan Rollins played 41 minutes, had 26 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, but a steal. That's a huge performance by Ryan Rollins, and the train is not stopping. Off the bench, Bobby Portis had 9 and 4 with a steal. No one else was productive. For the Heat, Bam Adebayo 17 and 11 with a block. Andrew Wiggins 11 and 3 with 2 blocks. Norman Powell 11, 4, 2, and 1 steal. Davion Mitchell, no real points, but he had 9 assists. That's what you're looking for him, and a steal. Tyler Hero, where he's back, as we know, and leading the team in scoring with 29 points, 5 boards, 7 assists, a steal, and a block. That's the all-star caliber performance that he had last year. So if he continues this, he's back in full form. Off the bench, Khalil Ware, 11 and 9 with 2 steals. Jaime Jaquez with 10 points. And Pelle Larsson on the bench in this one with 8 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. He had been starting with Hero out, but they continue to start Davion instead of Pelle Larsson. And we'll see if they roll with this lineup or not. And like I said, we have a 9-game slate tonight. We are live on Twitter, YouTube. And if you have any questions, send them through at William is Bill on the Twitter, on the YouTube. And I'll try to get to them at the end of the show. Thank you for listening to the Box Score Breakdown. NBA Fantasy Pod will be back after us with Doc and Brew for your daily fantasy news and notes. All right, next game we have the Raptors defeated the Pacers 97-95. And the Pacers are having a horrendous season. We kind of expected the Celtics to be similar to this boat, but they have a winning record. The Pacers are 2-16 without Halliburton and Miles Turner and not much of a replacement. They've had a lot of injuries as well, but 2-16, whew. But this team is going to be good next year, trust it. But for now, Siakam had 11 and 4 with 2 steals. Very, very low game for him. But Jarris Walker is the one that stepped it up. Had 13 and 9 with 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And he had been playing very poor, but his last 2 games have been ramping up. Nembhard played a lot of minutes, but only had 9, 4, and 4 with 2 steals. Every now and again, like every 3rd or 4th game, Nembhard will have an all-star performance. But for the most part, he's kind of just been solid like this. And he was 20% from the field, so that's not good. Ben Mathurin had 15, 3 and 3 with a steal. Just solid. I know he can do better than that. Isaiah Jackson, 8 points, 3 blocks. You want those blocks. That's what you have him for. But Jay Huff came off the bench and played more minutes than him and had more points than him. Jay Huff had 10 points and the equal amount of blocks in 3. And he had way more rebounds with 6. So, I think it's clear that Jay Huff is better than Isaiah Jackson. It just seems like they don't want to trust Jay Huff and start him for some reason. But all his production was better. So we will see how that continues. If someone's trying to get Isaiah Jackson from you and you can sell high, I would consider that because I think Huff is going to keep creeping in on his minutes. TJ McConnell has 16 and 7 boards with 6 assists off the bench. Ben Shepherd, 8 and 5 off the bench. And that's your Pacers lineup. For the Raptors, Brandon Ingram, and he hit the game winner in this one, had 26 and 8 with 2 steals and a block. Scotty Barnes had 24, 10, 4 assists and a block. Colin Murray-Boyles made a surprising start, but only played 8 minutes and no production. Jakob Poeltl, 8 and 9 with 3 assists and steal and a block. Emmanuel Quickley, 15, 5 and 6 with 2 steals. And he pretty much cruises at that pace. I think he can do a little bit better than that, but he's cruising right now. Off the bench, Sandro Mamukelashvili had a huge game last game, and this one only 7 and 3. Jacoby Walter, the only double-figure scorer off the bench with 13 and 4 with 2 steals. And you got to remember, RJ Barrett is out right now, so that's why Colin Murray-Boyles got to start over Jacoby Walter, over Grady Dick, over Ochai Agbaji. And Grady Dick only played 7 minutes and had 3 boards and 1 assist and 1 steal and 1 block. So Jacoby Walter played 32 minutes. Grady Dick played 7. Colin Murray-Boyles played 8. So it seems like the guy that's taking RJ Barrett's minutes is Jacoby Walter. He didn't start, but he played the minutes. So keep an eye on that. If you're looking for someone to add because of that, it doesn't appear to be CMB or Grady Dick. All right, next game we have the Thunder defeated the Timberwolves 113-105. Anthony Edwards, 31 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. No, that's what we want to see from Ant. He had been cruising in the 18 to 24 point per game since he's been back with injury. And in this one, he finally hit the 30 mark, 31 points, shot well, 50% from 3. That's what you want to see. Rudy Gobert, only 5 points, but he had 12 boards and 3 blocks that you want him for. Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle both had 10 points. Randle with 8 boards and 3 steals. McDaniels with 6 boards and 3 assists. DiVincenzo didn't do much, but he had 5 boards and 2 assists and 11 points. He's been doing much better than that, but down game tonight. On the bench, Naz Reid, 12 and 2 with 3 assists and a block. And Terrence Shannon blew up off the bench with 18 points, but no other production. And Dillingham was in at the end of the game, and he just couldn't get it going. It's just been rough so far for Rob Dillingham, the adjustment to the NBA. He had 6 points in 12 minutes. But he's not getting those minutes. That's the thing. All right, for OKC, Isaiah Hartenstein with 15 and 7 with a steal and a block. Chet Holmgren, 12 and 9 with a steal and a block. And Chet Holmgren, to me, I think he can and should be doing more. Like a lot of times, Isaiah Hartenstein is outplaying him. Chet Holmgren is supposed to be that guy. You know, before Wemby, Chet was the guy looked at as he's the next big, tall, skinny freak of nature. It's going to be dominating the league, but he kind of just coasted with this Thunder team. I know he could be doing more. 12 and 9, the rebounds are good, but he should be up to 18, 20 points. And I don't know, it's just they're cruising to the playoffs, but Shea is not. Shea had 40 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, and 3 steals. So Shea's going to need some help on the offensive end as well, you know, especially with J-Dub out. So with J-Dub out and Chet only getting 12 points, that just worries me a little bit. Like, I don't know if Chet's going to be that all-star that we expected. Cason Wallace had 9 points, 2 steals. And J-Dub, well, not J-Dub, the other Jalen Williams, 9 points, 5 boards, the big. And A.J. Mitchell, 13 and 3 assists. You know, he was killing it, but he's come down to earth a little bit, mainly because of minutes. Next game, the Grizzlies defeated the Pels 133-128. Jaren Jackson Jr. with 27 and 5 with 3 steals and a block. It's normally 3 blocks and a steal, but hey, you'll take it how you can get it. Cedric Howard started, played a huge complement of minutes, but only had 12 points. But he did have 9 boards and 4 assists with a block. Jalen Wells is the guy that took all the shots. Well, just made all his shots. Coward took 10, Wells took 11, but Wells had 25 points, and that's because he made 5 3-pointers. And this is kind of the Jalen Wells that we saw last year, where he was starting for this team, playing a lot of minutes, putting up a lot of points. He had not done that this year. This was his first breakout game because he was knocking down his threes, and he also had a steal and a block. So Jalen Wells can continue this. He can be someone we can consider for our teams, but this is the first time that I've felt confident in him this year. Cedric Coward has been the guy that's really been impressing. So keep an eye out on Jalen Wells if he's available. Zach Edey finally had a blow-up performance with 21 points and 15 boards and 2 blocks and a steal. You love to see it. Zach Edey is back, 10 for 15 from the field. And again, like Jalen Wells, if Edey can continue this, dominant fantasy player. Vince Williams started at point guard again and again, only 5 points. But again, 17 assists. 17 assists is crazy work. 4 boards. He did have 6 turnovers. He had 2 steals and a block. The category production is insane. You just wish he shot better. But then if he did shoot better, you'd have an all-star. And Vince Williams is not. But the assists are there if you're looking for that. But so are the turnovers. Santi Aldama with 14 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, and a block. Jacques Landale, after his huge performance, he still had 11 and 1 block. So solid. But Edey clearly is back now. And Cam Spencer with 11 and 7 assists off the bench. And for the Pels, Zion was 17, 5, and 4 with 2 blocks. Trey Murphy, 12 and 6 with 2 steals. Derek Queen started, but only played 23 minutes, the lowest of the starters. 10 points, 9 assists, which is insane. Why did they stop playing him? Had a steal and a block. Hopefully he didn't get injured. I hadn't seen that yet. But to have 10 and 9 in 23 minutes is crazy to not finish the game. Sadiq Bey is the guy that went off in this one with 18 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Now, Sadiq Bey had been trending up, and this is mainly because Herb Jones is out. You have to say Sadiq Bey is someone you have to add at this point. As long as Herb Jones is out, Sadiq Bey had a monster game. He played the most minutes on the team with 39 minutes, and a double-double with 3 steals is just, you can't leave that sitting on the wire. If you have someone you can drop for him, go ahead and do it. Jeremiah Pierce, he's given the opportunity. You remember, Jordan Poole is out, Herb Jones is out, and obviously DeJounte Murray is not there. Jeremiah Pierce has this backcourt at his will. But to get only 10 points, only 3 assists, only 2 boards. He's not taking full advantage of it. And it's not really his point. He's a 19-year-old rookie. But he's shown some greatness. And then he's shown some games like this, or it's just like, okay, you know. So hopefully he will find his groove and he can take more advantage of it, because when those guys come back, it's going to be less opportunities unless he just steals the job because of his great play, and hopefully he can. But he's done way more than he should, way more than expected in his rookie year already. So you can't be too greedy with that. And he did only play 26 minutes. Him and Derek Queen, 23 and 26 minutes. Everyone else that started played 32 plus. Yves Missi off the bench had a great game last game, but only 6 and 6 in this one. But he had 3 blocks, so we love that. Micah Peavy is continuing to be productive off the bench with 11 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. They are really liking Micah Peavy. And Jordan Hawkins, 14 points and a steal and a block. But yeah, Peavy's paid 21 minutes. Hawkins, 14. So it's very surprising that Peavy's that's playing more minutes than Jordan Hawkins. But that just goes to show you how impressive Peavy has been in games and in practice. Now, next game, the Spurs defeated the Blazers 115-102. We know Wemby is still out, but De'Aaron Fox is available, and he's going to shoot that ball. 25 field goal attempts. Fox had 37 points, 8 assists, 6 boards, 3 steals, and a block. Devin Vassell with 23 points and 6 boards and a steal. Luke Cornett started, only 6 points, but had 9 boards and 3 blocks. That's what you're looking for Luke. Julian Champagny, 12 and 11 with 2 blocks. Great. Harrison Barnes, 13 points, 5 boards, 3 steals. All the Spurs starters were productive in their own right. That's why they got the win. Keldon Johnson with 11 and 10 off the bench. That's crazy with the rebounds in 23 minutes. And Dylan Harper was back after injury, but he only played 17 minutes. They're not going to overexert him in his first game back, but he had 7 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So imagine if he played 30 minutes. It's coming. Let's hope this team can stay healthy. For the Trailblazers, Jeremy Grant, 13 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. And, Jeremy Grant can put up 30 any given night. So to have 13, it was rough. Tumani with 10 and 5 with a block. Denny Avia is the guy that lit it up with 37 points, 8 assists, 6 boards, also 6 turnovers. But he had a block as well. But those points are crazy for Denny. Donovan Clingan with 9 and 11 with a block. And Sidy Cissoko continues to not be productive. They're going to have to find a way to put someone else in that starting spot. I don't know what's going on. And speaking of that, Shaedon Sharpe came off the bench in 22 minutes, had 11 and 5 with 2 assists. Not sure why he came off the bench. I hadn't heard about that, but that's kind of crazy. He only played 22 minutes. But Sidy Cissoko, I'm okay with you giving him minutes, but he should not be starting. Robert Williams had a great game off the bench with 10 points, 5 boards, and 4 blocks, plus a steal. And I saw a clip of him with the alley-oop. It's like good to see Robert Williams back out there being healthy, being productive. Let's hope he stays that way. Chris Murray with 8 points and 6 boards. Next game, the Suns defeated the Kings 112-100. Royce O'Neal, 9 points and 3 steals and a block. Dylan Brooks, 13 points, 3 boards. Mark Williams, 21 and 17 with 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Had 10 offensive rebounds. I don't know if that's a positive or negative because his team was just breaking it up. He wasn't. He shot over 80% from the field, 9 for 12. And 21 and 17 is just outrageous game. Love it. Devin Booker. We're used to Devin Booker scoring 30 to 40 points per game, but only 19 in this one. Shot 6 for 22 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3. So he was struggling in the win. He still was struggling, but he had 7 boards, 6 assists, and a steal. So he made it up in those categories, but the field goal percentage was not there. Colin Gillespie started, had 21 and 9 assists with 2 steals, and he's just shown that he is a starter in the NBA. I mean, he's capable of being a starter in the NBA. We'll put it like that. So has Jordan Goodwin, but in this one, he only had 7 points, but he did have 8 boards, 2 steals, and a block. So they have found some gems, some G League gems that are being very productive for him, and the Suns are 11 and 7. And speaking of that, Jamari Bouye, 11 points off the bench, and he's a really good talent as well. And also Iguodala, 8 points, 2 steals off the bench. Nick Richards, not much, and they continue to not play Kaman Malawach. For the Kings, I was just talking about Fox with the Spurs, so I was like, it's weird to go from Fox on the Spurs to not seeing him on the Kings, but that's what the Kings did. No more Fox, no more Halliburton. We have Zach LaVine, DeRozan, Westbrook, and they want those guys out of there too. So the Kings are going to look totally different next year. But Zach LaVine, 13 points, 2 and 2 with a steal. Unfortunately, 6 turnovers. Zach has just not been himself this year. We're used to him scoring 25 to 35 a game, and it's not happening. DeMar, same for him. 10 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, a block. That is not DeMar DeRozan-like. The weird thing is Russell Westbrook, 19 and 8 with 3 assists, 5 turnovers, unfortunately, but Russ is going to shoot that ball. And I don't know if that's hurting DeMar and Zach, but, I mean, it is what it is. Keegan Murray with 19 points. He's back in the starting lineup with 8 boards and 2 steals and 3 assists. So he is really the only guy you can trust on this team, Keegan Murray. I think he'll have a successful year, but everyone else is up and down and might be shipped out. Precious Achiuwa, 14 and 5 off the bench with a steal. Malik Monk, 15, 2 assists and a block off the bench. Keon Ellis played 22 minutes, but not much done. 6 points, but he did have 3 steals and 2 blocks. So he's putting up those defensive category stats. Maxime Renaud, Nick Clifford, the rookies, both played 9 minutes, were not productive. And for the final game of the night, the Rockets defeated the Warriors. Jabari Smith with 15 and 4. Sengun 16, 6 and 6 with a steal. Amen. Only 10 points, but had 14 boards, 3 assists, and a steal. Reed Shepherd is the guy that stepped up in the starting lineup with 31 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. That's the game everyone has been looking forward to for Reed Shepherd, especially the truthers. You see people talking about Reed Shepherd every game, that anytime that he shows any flash, it's like, oh, Reed Shepherd, oh, Reed Shepherd. And it has not been much of anything thus far. But this game, you can point to this one and say, okay, this is what we have to look forward to. Can he keep this up? We will see. I mean, don't be surprised if he doesn't. But it was great to see. Off the bench, Aaron Holiday, another double-figure performance with 14. And that's shooting 3-11 from the three-point line. So if he would have made 2 or 3 more threes, it would have been a really nice game for Aaron Holiday. Clint Capella off the bench with 6 points, 12 rebounds, a steal and a block. Steven Adams did not play, so that allowed Clint to get those rebounds. For the Warriors, Jimmy Butler, 21, 5 and 5 with 2 steals. Draymond, 12, 8 and 8 with 2 blocks, 5 turnovers, unfortunately. Steph Curry, only 14 points, but has 7 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, unfortunately, 6 turnovers. But we're just not going to worry about turnovers. Just light it up out there, guys. Will Richard with 18 and 6 with 2 steals. And he was back in the starting lineup after we saw Gary Payton Jr. Ball out last game. They put Will Richard back in, and Payton only played 5 minutes. So that was kind of weird. I don't know if they're trying to figure things out or what. But Quentin Post had 12 and 5 with 3 steals. Brandon Podziemski off the bench with 14, 4, 2 assists, and 1 steal. And that was pretty much it for the Warriors in a losing effort. Now let's talk about the players of the night. Josh Hart, 22, 8 and 7. Cade Cunningham, of course, with 42 and 8. Had a nice number of assists as well. Jaylen Brown, 33 and 10. Ryan Rollins, 26 and 7. Tyler Hero, 29 and 7. Scotty Barnes, 24 and 10. Brandon Ingram with 26. Anthony Edwards, 31 and 8. SGA with 46 and 6. Zach Edey, 21 and 15. Reed Shepherd, 31 and 9. De'Aaron Fox, 37, 6 and 8. Denny Avdia, 37, 6 and 8. That's crazy. Mark Williams, 21 and 17 with 3 steals, and Keegan Murray, 19 and 8. So let's see if we have any questions, because it was a huge 9-game slate. No comments tonight, but I appreciate you guys for watching and listening. It is Thanksgiving morning, because it's 1 a.m. on the East Coast, but I appreciate you guys tuning in with me. Remember, you're listening to the Box Score Breakdown. Always feel free to comment, ask your questions. We'd love to hear them. Subscribe to the Box Score Breakdown. Subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today. And we appreciate you guys. It's a SportsEthos production presented to you by FanDuel. And until next time, happy Turkey Day. And I'm out of here. Peace.